Joining us now is the new leader of the Liberal Democrats, Ed Davey, who was elected yesterday with nearly a 2-to-1 majority, beating his rival, Layla Moran.
His party recently launched their Safe to Return to Work scheme that would give people confidence and help to avoid further large-scale job losses. Ed Davey, I apologise that it didn't make any of the front pages. Your great election to the leadership of your party that you've been a loyal member of for 30 years. But that in itself, isn't that part of the issue? You know, the fact that you've been, you've won the leadership of the third party in the country, it doesn't make the front pages of the papers. That tells you, doesn't it, that in a way that the Lib Dems, where they are now with just 11 MPs, are seen as largely irrelevant?
Well, Randy, I'm obviously very excited to be the new leader of the Liberal Democrats. We've got a lot to offer the British people, but you're right. And I was saying yesterday, the party needs to wake up and smell the coffee. We've had 3 poor general election results on the run. People don't feel we represent them, that we're on their side, that we're championing them and their families, and we've got to make ourselves relevant to them. And that's why I'm arguing that it's time for the Liberal Democrats to listen to the people of Britain, to go out there, understand their problems, their concerns, their hopes and their dreams, so we can represent their concerns in Parliament and across the country, in every community in our country.
How are you going to get the wider population to be interested when your members don't seem to be particularly interested? Only 57% of members balloted cast their votes. I mean, that's pretty damning, isn't it?
Well, actually, it was a very engaged membership for the leadership election. You've got to remember it was under very unusual circumstances of COVID and pandemic. There was no public meeting whatsoever, unlike any leadership election I think there's ever been. So in those circumstances, actually, I think the turnout was pretty good. And actually, what was coming from the members was a thirst for change. I think the membership of the Liberal Democrats realised that we've got a problem, we've got to fix it. People want us to be successful, but they know that the British people have said, well, you know, where are you? Well, you're not on our side anymore. And I can remember a time 15 years ago when the Liberal Democrats were representing nearly a third of the British people. We were seen as a powerful, principled, distinctive voice. I think we can get back to that, but the first stage of that is to listen to the British people.
But you've been at the centre of the party for so long, Ed Davey. You talk about, consecutive failures in elections to really make a dent. You've been right at the centre of that. So why is it now that you're the person to listen, as you say, to make changes, when actually you've been right at the centre and you could have been effective and you weren't in many ways, perhaps?
Well, I can remember when the party was very effective, and that experience when, for example, when I was in government, nearly quadrupled Britain's renewable power. We, as the Liberal Democrats, were the champions of tackling climate change, and given that's a massive issue, and given as we face this huge economic crisis during COVID, we've got to change our whole economy. I think I can bring real experience to that job. But the first stage is to fix the problem for the Liberal Democrats, and that is people don't think we're on their side. And given we have this national crisis of COVID, which is a health crisis, a care crisis, an economic crisis, this absolutely is a moment where politicians need to be reaching out to people, listening and understanding their concerns at the moment, what they're going through. Millions of people are suffering during this crisis, working out how we can best help them. I don't think the Conservative government's making a very good job of it. I want to make sure the Liberal Democrats can offer something that's realistic, that's competent, and that meets people's dreams and desires.
Is any of the feedback? I know you had this very sort of introspective, quite hard-hitting look at the problems of the last campaign, certainly, and your own party in their investigation described it as a high-speed crash. You know, it was a car crash, really. Do you think that you are still suffering from the ripple-out effect of being in coalition with a Tory government? It seems like that was a long, long time ago. But is there any feeling that that is still part of the problem in terms of reputational damage for those people who were very loyal to the Lib Dems and then obviously felt very let down by some of the policies that were put through whilst Nick Clegg was, right next to David Cameron?
Well, the general election review that you referred to that looked at what happened in December and the campaign that we fought, it also looked at the last 4 or 5 years. And it looked at many problems within our party that we've got to fix. And I don't think it was just coalition or Brexit or any particular individual. I think the party just has lost touch with voters. At our best, our local government councillors, they really listen to people, they serve their communities, they deliver their communities. So I know the party can do it, but I think at a national level is where we've gone wrong, and we've just got to face up to that. And we've got to be honest with that, and we've got to be honest with the British people. And my pledge on my first day as leader of the Liberal Democrats is that that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that as I take the party forward, we fix the problem, we listen to the people. That's where we're going to start. If we want to represent the people, we've got to understand their concerns and their dreams.
Well, congratulations. We should have said that at the top.
Congratulations
On your new job.
And good luck, Ed Davey. Thank you very much for joining us.